It's 2 a.m. Your dog is sprawled across the bed, belly up, legs at angles that defy basic anatomy. You reach for your phone, snap a picture, laugh. That's just how my dog sleeps. But what if that position isn't random? What if every angle, every curl, every stretch your dog chooses at night is actually a sentence in a language it took scientists decades to decode? Because here's the thing. Sleep is the one moment your dog can't pretend. They can't perform. They can't control what their body does. And researchers who spent 14 consecutive nights recording 110 dogs discovered that every sleeping position maps to a specific point on something they call a trust spectrum, from maximum defense to total surrender. That position your dog sleeps in tonight? It's not about comfort. It's not about temperature. It's a message. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it says. In our last video, we explored how dogs are genetically built to choose you. Today, what happens after they've chosen? When the lights go off? When they can't pretend? Sentinels sleep at the edges, curled tight, ears still active, ready to move in under a second. The most protected members sleep at the center, slightly more relaxed. No wolf sleeps belly up. Ever. Because exposing your throat and organs to the open air is, in evolutionary terms, a death sentence. So here's the question that should stop you in your tracks. Your dog, a direct descendant of those wolves, sleeps belly up on your couch like they don't have a care in the world. How is that possible? The answer is 15,000 years. 15,000 years of co-evolution that slowly, generation by generation, rewired one behavior. Sleep went from survive the night to trust the person next to me. And we can actually see that rewiring happen in real time. When rescue dogs arrive at shelters, behavioral assessors document their sleeping positions as part of intake evaluation. And what they record is remarkably consistent. Night 1, curled into a ball so tight you can barely see their face. Nose tucked under tail, spine curved, every vital organ shielded. 2 weeks later, the curl loosens. A paw extends outward. The nose lifts away from the tail. 3 months later, in a loving home, side sleeping, belly partially exposed, legs stretched. And then one day, maybe 4 months in, maybe 6, the foster parent walks into the room and sees it for the first time. Legs in the air, belly fully exposed, throat completely unprotected. That moment isn't cute. It's a milestone. That dog just told you, in the only language their body has, I stopped being afraid. Because of you. Researchers call this the trust progression. The direction is always the same. It always moves toward vulnerability. The speed depends on one variable, you. And that progression isn't random. It's a trust timeline. And your dog is somewhere on it right now. Pay attention to what comes next, because by the end of this spectrum, you'll know exactly where your dog falls, and what that position is really saying about the bond between you. Whether they curl into a tight ball or sprawl across your bed like they own it, every position is a chapter, and the story they're telling is about trust. So let's read the spectrum, starting at the bottom, where trust hasn't been earned yet. Section 4, the trust spectrum, 5 levels. Level 1, the snowball, the tightest curl a dog can make, nose tucked near the tail, spine curved inward. Every vital organ, heart, lungs, belly, completely shielded. This is the oldest position in canine history. Wolves in the wild default to exactly this: maximum protection, minimum vulnerability. A dog sleeping like this isn't cold. They're not just comfortable. Their body is running a program that predates your house, your neighborhood, your entire civilization. And here's what the data shows. Researchers measuring cortisol, the stress hormone, found that dogs sleeping in a tight curl had levels 21% higher than dogs sleeping belly up. 21%. That's not a preference. That's a stress measurement you can read from across the room. Trust translation. I'm still watching. I'm not sure yet. That's not comfort. That's a wolf still running the old program. Level 2, the Sphinx. Paws forward, chin resting on them. Body still upright enough to spring into action in under a second. You've seen this. Your dog lying by the door, looking relaxed, but their muscles say otherwise. This isn't rest, it's a question mark. The dog is running an evaluation. Is this environment safe enough for deeper sleep? Can I let my guard down here? Trust translation. I want to rest. I'm not sure I can. Level 3, side sleeping. Some people call it the pancake. And here's where things change. Because side sleeping means one critical thing. The belly is partially exposed. For the first time on the spectrum, vital organs are no longer fully shielded. But there's something even more important happening. REM sleep, the deepest phase, where dreaming occurs, only happens in this position, or more relaxed ones. Harvard sleep researchers confirmed that dogs in REM process and consolidate memories of their day, including interactions with their owners. The twitching paws, the little running movements, the soft sounds. Your dog isn't just sleeping, they're replaying their day. And research suggests you're in those dreams. Trust translation. I can dream here. I feel safe enough to let my brain go offline. Level 4, the Superman. All 4 legs stretched out, belly flat against the surface, ready to launch at a moment's notice. Now, puppies default to this position. Maximum energy, minimum patience. They want to be up and running the instant something interesting happens. But here's the thing. Adult dogs choose this position. They could sleep any way they want. They chose the one that lets them reach you fastest. Trust translation. I trust this place, but I want to be ready for you. And then there's level 5, the belly up. Some call it the dead cockroach. Legs in the air, throat completely exposed, belly wide open. Every single vital organ, unprotected. Think about what this means. For a direct descendant of wolves, animals that survived by never exposing their vulnerable side to anything they didn't trust absolutely, this position is the biological equivalent of putting down every weapon. The University of Bern data confirms it. Belly-up position correlates with the lowest cortisol levels, the highest sleep quality, and the longest REM cycles of any sleeping position recorded. Your dog isn't being funny. They're not just comfortable. They are performing the most vulnerable act their biology allows, and they're doing it in your presence. Trust translation. I surrender everything. You are my safety. That's not random. That's the highest point on the trust spectrum. And it took 15,000 years of coevolution to make it possible. Everything we've covered so far is about how your dog sleeps. Now let's talk about where. Here's what nobody talks about. Dogs objectively disrupt your sleep. They move, they snore, they steal blankets. They somehow take up 73% of a queen-sized bed while weighing 20 pounds. Every sleep expert will tell you the same thing. Don't let your dog in the bed. The science is clear. The recommendation is unanimous. Case closed. Except it isn't. The Mayo Clinic, one of the most respected medical institutions on Earth, studied 40 adults over 7 consecutive nights. Dog in the room, sleep efficiency maintained. Dog in the bed, slightly lower sleep metrics on paper. But here's the paradox. Owners who slept with their dog in the bed consistently reported feeling more rested. Not less, more. How is that possible? How can your sleep quality go down on paper, but you feel better? Researchers at Oberkassel University in Finland discovered something remarkable. When dogs sleep in physical contact with their owners, their heart rate variability patterns begin to synchronize. 2 different species, 2 different cardiovascular systems, 2 different evolutionary lineages separated by millions of years. And when they sleep touching, their rhythms match. It goes deeper. Azabu University, the same team that discovered the mutual gaze oxytocin loop between dogs and humans, found that physical contact during sleep triggers the same neurochemical pathway. The same molecule that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn for the first time, oxytocin, is being released in both your brain and your dog's brain while you sleep. And here's what makes this even more interesting. Pet cameras have revealed something consistent across hundreds of recordings. The position your dog chooses when sleeping alone versus when sleeping next to you is often completely different. Alone, tighter curl, more repositioning, shorter REM cycles. Next to you, longer stretches, more belly up time, deeper REM. Same dog, same bed, same temperature. The only variable that changed? Your presence. You don't just share a bed with your dog, you change their neurobiology by being in it. So the next time someone tells you, don't let your dog sleep in your bed, you can tell them this. 2 nervous systems from 2 species separated by 15,000 years of evolution are doing exactly what they were designed to do. Co-regulating, synchronizing, healing each other every single night. That's not a bad habit. That's not spoiling your dog. That's biology working as intended. And this partnership? It's older than you think. To understand why your dog sleeps the way they do, you have to go back. Not years, not centuries, millennia. In a wolf pack, sleeping position isn't chosen, it's assigned. Rank determines who sleeps where. Sentinels at the edges, coiled and alert. Vulnerable members at the center, shielded by bodies. No wolf chooses where to sleep. The pack decides for them. And then, roughly 15,000 years ago, something changed. One lineage of wolves stopped sleeping at the edge of the pack. They started sleeping at the edge of a campfire. Generation by generation, the program rewrote itself. Sleep went from a survival rotation to something no wolf had ever done before. A choice. A choice to stay. A choice to trust. Dogs are the only species on Earth that voluntarily sleeps with another species. Think about that. In the entire animal kingdom, billions of species, millions of years of evolution, only one animal looked at a completely different species and decided, that's where I'll be most vulnerable, next to them. And we have proof of exactly when that choice began. In 1914, workers quarrying basalt near Oberkassel, Germany, broke open a layer of rock and found something no one expected. 2 human skeletons, and beside them, 2 dogs, buried together, in positions that archaeologists immediately recognized, sleeping positions, side by side, 14,000 years ago, before agriculture, before cities, before written language, before the wheel. Humans were already sleeping beside dogs, and dogs were already choosing to stay. But here's the detail that makes this discovery extraordinary. One of the dogs was a puppy, approximately 27 weeks old. An analysis of its teeth revealed it had survived canine distemper virus, a disease with a mortality rate above 50% in young dogs. It couldn't have survived without weeks of intensive human care, cleaning, feeding, warmth. Someone kept that puppy alive. 14,000 years ago, a human nursed a sick dog back to health, and when they both died, someone buried them together, in sleeping positions. Your dog on your bed tonight isn't a modern indulgence. It isn't a quirk of pet culture. It's the oldest partnership in human history, doing what it has always done. 14,000 documented years, and every single night since, somewhere on this planet, a dog has chosen to sleep beside a human. Not because they were trained to, not because they had nowhere else to go, because something in their biology, something older than civilization itself, says, this is where I belong. And that brings us to something important, something that could change how you look at your dog tomorrow morning. Now, the part that could save your dog's life. Everything we've covered, the trust spectrum, the 5 levels, the neuroscience, all of it gives you something most pet parents don't have, a baseline. You now know what your dog's sleeping position means, and that means you'll notice when it changes. Because here's what veterinary behaviorists want you to know. When a dog that has slept belly up for years suddenly curls into a tight ball, that's not a mood. That could be pain, abdominal discomfort, joint inflammation. The body's instinct to protect something that hurts. When a dog that always pressed against you at night suddenly moves to the far corner of the room, that's not rejection. That could be early cognitive decline. Sensory changes, disorientation that makes familiar spaces feel unfamiliar. Dr. Nicholas Dodman, one of the founders of veterinary behavioral medicine at Tufts University, has documented cases where sleeping position changes were the first observable symptom, weeks before any other clinical sign appeared. Weeks. Before the limping, before the appetite changes, before anything you'd normally notice. The key is patterns, not single nights. A dog that curls up on a cold tile floor is probably just cold. A dog that curls up every night, on every surface, in every room, after months of sleeping belly up beside you, that's a conversation with your vet. Here's what to watch. Sudden position regression, moving down the trust spectrum. Belly up to side to curled, curled to tight ball. If the direction reverses, pay attention. Location changes, a dog that stops seeking proximity after years of contact sleeping. Not once, consistently. Sleep fragmentation, waking more frequently, repositioning constantly, unable to settle. The trust spectrum isn't just about understanding your bond, it's a diagnostic language. And if you've been paying attention to where your dog falls on it, you'll notice when something shifts. Your dog can't tell you they're in pain, but their sleeping position might. And now, you know how to read it. That awareness, knowing the difference between a cold night curl and a pain night curl, could be the difference between catching something early and missing it entirely. So let's go back to 2 a.m. Your dog is on the bed, belly up, legs at impossible angles. You laughed, took a picture, maybe sent it to a friend with the caption, "Why is he like this?" But now you know what that position means. You know it sits at the very top of a spectrum that starts with fear and ends with total surrender. You know that their wolf ancestors would never have slept like that, not in 1,000 generations. That exposing the throat and belly to the open air was, for 15,000 years, a death sentence. You know that the only reason your dog can sleep like that, right now, in your home, on your bed, is because every system in their body has evaluated you, their cortisol, their heart rate, their nervous system, and every single one has reached the same conclusion. This person is safe. This person is home. They're not being cute. They're not being funny. They are performing the most ancient act of trust their species knows. And every night, without a word, without asking for anything in return, they do it again. In this series, we've mapped the science of your bond from every angle. How they feel when you leave, how they connect when you're near, how they carry you even in their final moments, how they were genetically built to choose you. And now, how every night, in the language their body speaks, they tell you the same thing. You are safe. I trust you. Stay. Look at your dog tonight. Notice how they sleep, where they sleep, whether they curl up tight or sprawl across your bed like they own the place. And now you know, that's not just a position. That's a sentence, in a language 15,000 years in the making. What's your dog's default sleeping position? And has it changed since you first brought them home? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if this changed how you see your dog at night, send it to someone who needs to see it too.